Some call me crazy, but it's alright.
Apologies for shaky camera work in this video. It was a very spur of the moment decision as I was looking at my shelves and feeling the urge to clean and get rid of things. I just grabbed my phone and started pulling things off the shelves and filming it, and not using my camera on a tripod. That's literally right there. So yeah, anyway, filming quality is not up to my usual standards, but it's just a fun little cleaning video while we're all stuck inside, which is pretty much my norm because I enjoy being stuck inside all day. I do enjoy cleaning and organizing, and maybe this could give you guys some inspiration for organizing your books or your stuff. I don't know. Anyway, let's get to it. So I've been doing a lot of downsizing and getting rid of just a ton of things I don't use, don't need. A lot of those things have been books, and I'm really strongly considering getting rid of my Outlander collection. Not the Outlander book itself, but all the rest of them. I worked so hard for so many years, mostly while I was living in Florida, to collect all of these. I read up through half of Fiery Cross and completely lost interest. Honestly lost interest after Dragonfly, but I kept going hoping it would get better. But I'm just not into it anymore, and I am never, ever, ever going to read these books. And even though they look really nice on the shelf, I think it's time to pass them along to someone who can enjoy them, because that's not me. A lesson in why you don't go buy a whole series before you know how you feel about it. After I read Dragonfly, I would have known I didn't have any interest anymore. The next Casualty. I know, I'm sorry. It's hugely popular. I didn't dislike it. I just bought it in 2016 and still have not cracked it open. Therefore, that says to me, I'm just really not interested in reading this book. I will be getting rid of it. Sorry. Heartless is another one I have had for years and have not cracked open, but I feel like I am likely to give this one a try. So for now, Heartless gets a pass, but if I don't read it this year in 2020, it's going. For the longest time, I was of the mindset that I needed more to-be-read books on my shelves than read books, so there would always be something new and fun to read. But I find that I just really love to look at these shelves and see books I read and loved, and go to my shelves and recommend and say, if you're looking for a great alien book or a great sci-fi fairy tale or a dystopian world, like, I have the perfect book for you. I like that feeling of having read everything on my shelves, or the majority of it. I want to get my shelves to like 90% read books, and I'm on my way. There was a time, not so long ago, when I was buying books just to create a rainbow shelf. I loved the look of them, but I didn't have enough books to make a rainbow. So I started going out and buying books that fit the color I needed. That's another reason I have a bunch of books that I just don't really have any interest in. I was just like, oh, that spine color is something I need. So next, Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I have not read yet, but I don't want to get rid of those. Again, if they aren't read in 2020, they're gone. Fateful. Okay. This is a book I bought because Titanic. This is set on the Titanic, but I haven't read it yet because werewolves? Werewolves on Titanic. I'm a Buffy fan. Oz was cool, great werewolf, but I just don't have any interest in reading about werewolves, even if they are roaming around Titanic. So Fateful is going into the pile. I now own 4 copies of Pride and Prejudice, maybe 3. Let's have a look around. Okay, looks like 3. My friend Kate gave me a copy because it's her favorite book. My friend Julia, who used to be on YouTube, also sent me a copy because it's her favorite book. And now I have one from my proposal, which is the only one I will be keeping. While I am so thankful for those lovely gifts, I will be passing them along for others to enjoy now. Okay, back up top to the sci-fi fantasy shelf. Serafina is a book I purchased solely because of this gorgeous cover art. It's the only reason I bought it. It's the only reason I have hung on to it for the last 5 years. I am really not a fantasy reader. I have my moments, but I would much prefer contemporary, sci-fi, or historical fiction or something like that. I'm not going to reach for a book about dragons. But I cannot part with this cover. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep the book jacket and send the naked book along to another reader. And I might even frame this or something because it is stunning. I went through this thing where I had to buy multiple different copies. I'm sorry if you can hear those children screaming. I do still like to buy multiple copies of my favorite books, such as Bronze Horseman and Hunger Games, but I don't need multiple copies of every book I love, you know? Which copy did I actually read? I think I read the red one. Yeah, so that one's marked up. I will keep this. I will pass along the movie cover. This is one I loved the book. Oh my gosh. Screaming children. Oh my God. I'm throwing it now. I read the book before the movie came out. I loved it. I cried. I saw the movie. I loved it. But it was so soul-crushing that I don't think I will ever watch it again. I don't even think I'll ever read it again, but I'm going to hang on to this one that I annotated just because I annotated it. But there's no reason I need to hang on to this perfectly good, unread, pristine copy of this beautiful but tear-jerking book. As far as Forbidden goes, this was another soul-crushing, tear-jerking book, and I loved it. But I don't know that I'm ever going to read it again because it was a lot. But I still want to hang on to a copy of it because I did love it, and man, it was crazy. The copy I read was this one, but I didn't annotate it or anything, so I'm going to keep the hardcover. I like the hardcover copy better. I'm also going to let Bunheads go. I do enjoy a good dance novel, but this is one that I've had for, again, years, and it hasn't been touched, so chances are it's not going to be read. And if I ever do get a real hankering to read it, I can just go to the library. Oh, maybe that's where I'll bring these books. The library instead of Salvation Army. Oh, yeah, I think I will do that. Our library is always taking book donations. That would be great. Okay, sorry, I'm thinking out loud here. Okay, this is a book I'm really torn about because I didn't really like it. It wasn't anything special, I didn't think, but it's beautiful. And this isn't one I can just take the jacket off. This is not a book I will ever pick up again. It's not a book I would recommend. I didn't hate it, but it just didn't really do anything for me. It's just a collection of winter short stories, contemporary, romancy, young adult, cutesy stories, if I'm remembering correctly. It's been a long time, but I do love to look at it. All right, since I'm having such a hard time, I'm going to hang on to it for now and come back to it later this year. This was a great book I read a couple years ago about a hearing woman who falls in love with a deaf man, and they learn to communicate, and it's very good. I enjoyed it a lot. It was recommended to me because I loved Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover, so I would also recommend this to anyone who loved Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. But it's not something I feel I need to keep in my collection. It's a mass market paperback, which I hate. I just hate. I hate them. I'm sorry, I just do. They're like small little bricks. The text is small and they don't open all the way. They bother me. Dangerous Girls by Abigail Haas is such an amazing book. I loved it. I talk about it all the time. In almost all of my book videos, you can probably hear me raving about it. Dangerous Boys was a follow-up to that. It's not related to Dangerous Girls, but it just follows that same sort of storyline. I didn't really enjoy it that much. I mean, it was fine. I don't know. It doesn't hold a candle to Dangerous Girls, in my opinion. And I've been holding on to it because, I don't know, I love Dangerous Girls so much. But there's really no reason for me to hang on to this one. I'm sure someone else will enjoy it much more than I did. Sadie was a total cover buy for me. This is just gorgeous. This was another Serafina incident. Something about the red and the ink strokes must really call to me. I don't know. Anyway, this is a thriller told through a podcast, which is interesting. I'm not really a podcast person. It was good. It was well written. I did enjoy the read, but it was horribly depressing, and it's not something I will ever read again. Too much of a bummer kind of story for me. Like, everything was depressing, and I didn't really find any joy in the reading experience. So anyway, I think this might be another case of I keep the book jacket and send the actual book on. I'm not getting rid of my Nicktoons book, but I just need to say how bummed I am that the slime dried out. This used to be so much fun. You could push the slime all around, and now it's dry. Sadness. Okay, I got out the tripod, and I decided I'm going to reconstruct my rainbow shelf, but this time it will be confined to just one shelf and only filled with books that I love or am excited to read. I know rainbow shelves freak a lot of people out because you're splitting up book series and authors and nothing's in order, but that's why it's just going to be this one shelf. Hang on, let's get some better lighting in here.
That'll be waiting. Here's what you can find. Let's do whatever. What is on your mind? This is my kind of thing, so what you say? There's no tomorrow, it's too far away. 'Cause ooh, here's what we gon' do. Take it to the limit, there's no other way. And ooh, with you by my side, dive into the ocean, let me be your guide. If tonight never comes again, I don't mind. This is not the end, so come with me and just enjoy the ride. If we're gonna do what you
Pua and I thank you for watching. I hope you guys are all staying safe, staying inside, away from other people, taking care of everyone around you by staying away from them. Yeah, I hope you're able to enjoy being with your family during this time and make the best of it. I will see you guys soon. Bye!
gotta know.